Parmi les 25 personnes, nous avons les 8 personnes que nous avons mis à côté là-bas, dont nous allons d'abord vérifier les statistiques. Donc ils sont encore jusque-là. Mais les personnes ciblées sont ici devant. Ils sont au nombre de 17. Parmi les 17, nous avons 5 fausses déportés arrêtés en flagrance. Ils ont tous l'air. S'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît. Je les ai mis là-bas. Papa, s'il vous plaît, ils sont là.
The year is 19th May 2024. What happened in the 19th of May 2024 in Congo? We shall come to that. Now, we have 3 things. Number 1, attempted failed coup happened in Congo. Number 3, the Kuluna gang that formed itself in Congo. And number 4, the 3 United States of America citizens in Congo. In Congo, there is a law that supports capital punishment. What and where does capital punishment applies? Capital punishment is a law in Congo that applies where someone has tried to overturn the government and he has failed. When he is caught, he is subjected to a capital punishment. That is execution. And number 2, it is applied where someone tries to escape the war. For example, the militaries are on the war, and then this person feels like this battle is too tough for him. He cannot manage this battle. And then he tries, or rather make an attempt of escaping the war. When he is caught, he is also subjected to a capital punishment, which is execution. 172 people in the 19th May were subjected to a capital punishment. 102 of them have already been executed by the government of Congo, and 70 people are yet to be executed by the government of Congo. In the military of Congo, there's a military personnel by the name Christian Malanga. Christian Malanga is serving there at the military, but the way Christian Malanga sees the government of Congo being run, and the way the government of Congo is doing things and working out things and solving problems and managing things, he feels like, if I can be able to get hold of this government, if I can be able to be given a chance to lead this government, I can really do better than what the government of Congo is doing right now. And every time when he is serving there at the military, he feels like, if I can get hold of this government, I can really do better than what the government is doing today. I think I have the skills. I think I have all that it takes to be able to run this government more better than how it's being ruled, than how it's being driven right now. I feel like there is a lot of things that are not happening in this country. I feel that there are a lot of problems, a lot of misfortunes, a lot of mistakes that are happening in this country. And if I can be able to get hold of this government of Congo right now, today, I can be able to do better. And the way Christian Malanga is presenting himself here in the military, people, when they look at him, they feel like this man is up to something that is very fishy. And therefore, because of political indifferences and all those things, Christian Malanga is taken out of the military, and then he goes home as a retired military from the military base of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And then he goes home. When he goes home, Christian Malanga jets to the United States of America. He relocates to the United States of America. He changed the environment, and then he begins living a very different kind of life. This time, nobody knows what Christian Malanga is up to. When Christian Malanga gets to the United States of America, he gets a child. What do we call this child? This child, let's call him Malanga Jr. So Christian Malanga goes to the United States of America, and then he gets a child, and he names this child Malanga Jr. So when in the United States of America, Malanga is reading a manual written by the one Hezekiah Ochuka. Put a stop right there. We shall pick it from there. Now, who is Hezekiah Ochuka? Hezekiah Ochuka is a Kenyan citizen who died some years back. Hezekiah Ochuka led the country of Kenya as the third president of the Republic of Kenya for 6 hours. For 6 hours, Hezekiah Ochuka led the country of Kenya as the third president of the Republic of Kenya for 6 hours. What happened? What happened is that Hezekiah Ochuka, he was also a military personnel. He was leading the Kenyan Air Force by that time. And Hezekiah Ochuka also had the intentions and he had the plans like they are of the similar nature with what Christian Malanga has in his mind right now as he's living in the United States of America. Hezekiah Ochuka wanted to overturn Kenyan government in the back years. And he managed to overturn and he managed to be the president of the Republic of Kenya because he even went to the media and captured the media and forced the media to announce that he is that everybody should stay at home, nobody should come out, and the government has been taken over by the one and only Hezekiah Ochuka, and that nobody should try to do anything. Everybody should stay in their house until he has given out the way forward. And that is how Hezekiah Ochuka took the government of Kenya for 6 good hours before the military came and neutralized everything, and the government was taken back to President Moi, and everything went back to normal. That was in the back years. Now, let's go back to our Christian Malanga. Christian Malanga is in the United States of America. He is reading a manual written by the one and only Hezekiah Ochuka because Christian Malanga, he also wants to come to Congo and overturn the government because he feels like this government of Congo is not doing right. And if he gets an opportunity to lead this country of Congo, he can lead this country in a better way than how it is being led right now. As we have told you, Christian Malanga was a political prisoner, and he was also the head of the military back in Congo before he came out of the military, and then he decided to venture into the politics, and he had political differences with the current president of the Republic, the president of the Republic of Congo at that time, and therefore he wanted to take over the government. But when it was like difficult, he jetted to United States of America, and when he got to the United States of America, he got a child, and this child, we named him Malanga Jr. So when he is in the United States of America, he is planning to come back to Congo, but before planning to come back to Congo, he is reading a manual written by the one and only Hezekiah Ochuka. And I've told you, Hezekiah Ochuka is a man who led the country of Kenya as the third president for about 6 hours before the country was neutralized back into the normalcy by the military of Kenya, and the government was given back to the one and only President Moi, who was the second president of the Republic of Kenya. Now, Christian Malanga comes back to Congo, and when Christian Malanga is coming back to Congo, he has one intention: to take over the government of Congo. He's coming to perform coup d'etat and take the government of Congo on his hands. So he has prepared himself very well. He has assembled a good team that is going to help him to overturn this government because he's very serious about it. And he feels like whatever is happening and how the government is ruling and the things that are happening in the government, they are bad things. And he feels like when he gets an opportunity to lead the country of Congo. He can lead the country of Congo in a way better than how it is being led right now. So Christian Malanga is jetting back to Congo. And when he's coming to Congo, intention is one, to take over the government and lead this government. So Christian Malanga has assembled his team very well, and he knows when I get to Congo, it's beating down and taking over, and everything is going to be normal. In his mind, nothing is telling him that it can be a very difficult situation, or rather, it's a difficult act. Whatever is peeping in his mind is that this thing, you can manage it and you will do it. Just believe in yourself. That is what is happening in the mind of Christian Malanga. So Christian Malanga gets to the Democratic Republic of Congo. When he gets to Congo, before he starts his mission, he calls his child, the one and only Malanga Jr. But when he is calling Malanga Jr. to come and help him do this, Malanga Jr. feels like it is not a good decision, or it's not something good that Christian Malanga, who is the father to Malanga Jr., wants to do. So the heart of Malanga Jr. is heavy. He doesn't want to come to Congo to do whatever his father wants to do. But because he is a father and someone who wants to overturn the government, this is someone who is very dangerous and someone who is very bitter. So he tries to threaten his son and tells his son, you have to come and do this. Or if you don't do it, I'm going to kill you. So Malanga Jr. has no otherwise than to come back to Congo and join his father on the fight for taking the government of Congo on their hands. When they get to Congo, when Malanga Jr. gets to Congo, now the work of trying to overturn this government begins. Christian Malanga has all the skills. Christian Malanga has read the manual written by the one Hezekiah Ochuka, who later ran in Tanzania. You know, Hezekiah Ochuka, when he tried to overturn the government and then it became hard, when he failed, it was an attempted coup, but when it failed, he had to escape from Tanzania. Like, he escaped to Tanzania. And then later on, after a good number of years, like around 7, 8, 9, 10 years, Hezekiah Ochuka was detained again, and he was, I think he was arrested. I don't know if he was killed or something like that. I don't know. But now, Christian Malanga has all the things that it takes to make sure that he is going to overturn this government. And remember one thing, we have a capital punishment that is a law in Congo for anybody who tries to overturn the government. When he is caught, he gets subjected to a capital punishment. Capital punishment is an execution. You are executed immediately, no compromise, no question. It is a law. And again, when you're trying to escape war, or rather to escape battle, to escape from the battlefield, when you are caught, you are again subjected to a capital punishment. In 19th May 2024, at around 4 to 5 a.m. in the morning, someone is being recorded saying, the president must leave office and this government must be taken into a safe hands. It must be taken and ruled by someone who understands the country, who understands people, and who understands how the country is going on and how the country is faring, who understands the interests of people and who understands people very well. It must be taken by someone who is responsible and who is competent, who can accept to be held accountable whenever things are happening. And therefore, the president must leave office. At this time, it's around 5 a.m. in the morning, 4 to 5 a.m. in the morning, in the year 19th May 2024. And Christian Malanga decides it's now or never. And then he goes on with the plans of taking over the government. So the fight begins. They get to the they go and they try to attack president's vicinity, like president's vicinity. So they try to attack president's place where the president lives and stays. And then I don't know what happened when they were doing this. I don't know what is it that they did not do, or rather they failed to do, because just before they attack the president's house, or rather the president's vicinity, just before it happens completely, the military they came. I think there was a communication that was done down here, and I don't know if there was someone who betrayed them, but something just happens immediately. Congo military, they come immediately and they do away with all these plans. They try to fight back and they neutralize everything. Everything is brought back to normal. And Christian Malanga, together with everybody who tried to overturn the government, who was in that coup attempt, they are all detained, they are all captured, and they are all locked in the cell. All of them. And therefore, the plan for them to overturn the government immediately was did not bear any fruits. So they had a plan, they had prepared themselves, but I think there is something they failed to do. And maybe if they had done whatever they didn't do, they would have overturned this government, because they had prepared themselves very well. But the government, and together with the military, they came with an immediate effect. They neutralized everything. Like the situation was just, even it is something that never happened for a very long time. It took around maybe 3 to 4 hours, because they had managed. Christian Malanga now became the president. Like let's say he led Congo for 3 hours, because they had taken over. But I don't know how militaries realized that something is wrong somewhere, and therefore they had to come in with an immediate effect and neutralized everything. Hezekiah Ochuka led Kenya for 6 hours, but someone who read his manual, Christian Malanga, was able to lead Congo for 3 hours. That is a half the time Hezekiah Ochuka led as the president of the Republic of Kenya number 3 for 6 good hours. Now, the capital punishment, whenever you are gotten, whenever you are found trying to attempt a coup, you are subjected to a capital punishment. So immediately, Christian Malanga, together with some people who were on the front line, they were executed immediately. They were subjected to a capital punishment, which is a law in Congo, and then immediately they were executed. But they do not execute people, all of them at the same time. They pick a number of people. When your time comes, they pick a number of people. They take you somewhere. They execute you. Then they wait. They come. They wait for another time. They also pick another number of people. They go. They execute them. So they execute you in turns. So this time, Christian Malanga, together with people who were on the front line, they were executed. They were subjected to a capital punishment and got executed immediately. And luckily, or I don't know what to say, Malanga Jr. at this time was not amongst the first people who were executed immediately. For them, they were detained for a little time and then they were executed later. Now, that was a failed attempted coup. That was number one. We said there are 3 things. Number 1, failed attempted coup. And number 2, we had 3 US citizens. Who are these 3 US citizens? Number 1, it's Christian Malanga. And number 2, we had two friends. Oh, number one, he was Malanga Jr., because Malanga was born in the United States of America. So definitely he becomes a US citizen. Number two, we have two friends that belonged to Malanga, to Christian Malanga. Christian Malanga, when he was in the United States of America, he made two friends. These two friends, together with Malanga Jr., were the three US citizens. So, amongst the second group that was supposed to be executed, these two US citizens were in that group together with Malanga Jr., making the group 3. And when Christian Malanga was being asked why is it that he had to live a good life in the United States of America to come to Congo so that he can just engage himself in the things like this and later get executed, he said that his father forced him. It is not something that he had planned or something that he wanted to do, but his father had to force him to come back to Congo so that he can help him be able to overturn this government. And that is how Christian Malanga Jr. found himself in this kind of a problem, in this kind of a misfortune. And that is what happened. Now, that was number 2. Number 3, we have the Kuluna gang. Now, this is a story that has been going around, and a lot of people are asking themselves, why is it that these young men were just caught, they were detained, and then they were subjected to a capital punishment? Remember, the capital punishment was only applying in 2 situations, as we have just said. Number 1, the capital punishment was applying on a coup attempt. A coup attempt. Whenever a coup is attempted and then it failed, what happens? When you are caught, you are subjected to a capital punishment. That is number 1. And number 2, whenever you're trying to escape the battlefield, when you are a military and you feel like this war is too hot, I cannot manage it, I want to run away, you are subjected to a capital punishment. It applies only on 2 circumstances that I have mentioned. But now, a lot of people are asking themselves questions. Why is it that these young men, young boys and men, because they were at the age of 18 to 35, why is it that they are being subjected to a capital punishment? They are executed on a daytime, on a daylight, where everybody sees. They are taken somewhere, they are shot to death, or rather they are I think, yeah, that is it. And so the question is, why would they be executed to a capital punishment? Now, during this government that is ruling today, there is a minister of justice that is being brought into the office. What is the name of this minister of justice? He is called Mutamba. When Mutamba comes to the office, Mutamba tells the president, whatever is happening in this country needs to stop. Because at this time, when Mutamba is coming into the office, it is just a moment that Kuluna gang had now risen to an extent where they cannot be stopped anymore. So what does Kuluna gangs do? Kuluna gangs, they are doing a lot of things. They are doing every sort of crime, every dirty thing. That is what Kuluna gang is doing. Raping women, killing children, okay? Taking little girls, school children, and raping them, stealing things, doing theft, and even like they're doing a lot of things. They're killing innocent people. They're destroying things, okay? And the reason as to why they're doing these things, we shall see it in the second episode of the truth you didn't know about Congo executions. Now, what is happening with Kuluna gang? Kuluna gang, they are doing every sort of bad thing. They're terrorizing people. They're killing innocent people, young men and women, children, okay? Like the recent case, I think they killed a pregnant woman and something like that. They killed him, they killed her, they used to do bad things. And it was something that people were really complaining about it. It was something that really displaced people, instilled fear in people. Now, people could not do things in peace anymore because Kuluna gang, they were misbehaving. In fact, there is a video here when Kuluna gang were doing some other things that were not good. And like the community, the village was now afraid of the Kuluna gang. Everybody, the society was afraid of the Kuluna gang because Kuluna gang were doing everything that is bad. Watch this video.
Toi, ne bougez même pas.
Now, that is how bad Kuluna gang were. That is how bad, that is how dangerous Kuluna gang had become. And at this time when Kuluna gang are doing these kind of things, it is when now in the Ministry of Justice, we are having a man who has just been brought into the government by the name Mutamba. And then Mutamba is telling the government, is telling Mr. President that this country needs to be shaped. And the only way for this country to be shaped, because people are complaining and the society is complaining about the Kuluna gang, the only thing we can do about this Kuluna gang is to instill fear, a dangerous kind of fear, that when anybody else would try to do whatever the Kuluna gang are doing today, they will be afraid because of what we will have done. And so he asked the president that, can you just allow me to expand the capital punishment to also get applied to people who are doing things, who are doing bad things, bad crimes, and very dangerous crimes like what Kuluna gang are doing. Killing people, killing women, raping women, raping school children, stealing from people, and killing innocent people. People like those ones also need to be subjected to a capital punishment. And then the president feels like this is a very good idea. The only way to stop this kind of things from happening, it is to do what Mutamba is saying. And therefore, the president gives Mutamba a go-ahead to expand this capital punishment to people like those ones. And that is why you will realize whenever this, by the time when these people from the Kuluna gang wanted to be executed, this one Mr. Mutamba was so relaxed because it is something he himself wanted to happen. Okay, it's something. It was okay. It was his prayer from the president. He asked it from the president. It was his request from the president that people like these ones to be subjected to a capital punishment. Watch this video.
Constant Mutamba, the newly appointed Minister of Justice for the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, is rapidly emerging as a transformative figure, both within the DRC and across the Pan-African community. Many view him as a future leader of the nation, given his bold and uncompromising stance on justice. Recently, he made headlines by sentencing 250 gang members to the death penalty for crimes of violence, including attacks on women, murder, and repeated offenses. Mutamba also caught international attention.
Welcome back again. So, the Kuluna gang, the police operations started going on. And these police operations was to every villages, to every places. These Kuluna gang were being detained and taken one by one, captured one by one, arrested one by one, until all of them were arrested. And when all of them were arrested, remember, the government had given Mutamba a go-ahead to expand this capital punishment to people who also commit bad crimes like what Kuluna gang were doing. And therefore, Kuluna gang also, they were arrested, all of them, and there were almost 200 of them, and they were being executed one by one. A number of them are taken and they are executed. They are killed. That was the capital punishment. And that is the truth you didn't know about the Congo execution, part 1. But what does the part 2 says about Congo executions and Congo capital punishment that took over on these people, the so-called Kuluna gang? It is yet to get hot. It is yet to get deeper. Because what is the reason? That is the question that these people are doing, and these young men were doing the kind of things they were doing. Why is it that when they were being asked to stop, they could not stop? And what is the reason as to why these people continued doing it time and again? And why is it that the government would just execute people? Because these are things that happened in the old days. And in the current leadership, I think it is Congo is the only country that has done whatever they did to the Kuluna gang, to these young boys and men who were doing crime. Because even in the foreign countries, the Western countries, like the United States and all those countries, they don't kill people when they find them in these kind of mistakes. They arrest them. It doesn't matter which kind of a mistake you have done, but you are arrested and taken to the prison for you to serve your term, and then you come out when you are a changed person. But why is it that Congo would just find it so easy, or rather the president of Congo just found it so easy to give Mutamba a go-ahead and expand a capital punishment to people who do crimes in the society? You are yet to know a lot of things. So I beg you to tune in on the next episode and the next part of the truth you didn't know about Congo capital punishment, or the Congo executions. And you will understand more. This is African Streamline. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening to me. And thank you so much, all the African Streamline family. We are black people, and black people to the world. My black people, brothers and sisters from Caribbean, from diaspora, and from Africa, I salute you so much. Keep tuning in, keep staying here, because our work is Pan-Africanism. And on the next episode is when now Pan-Africanism will be seen. Because black people, killing black people because of issues that are not understood is not good. Crimes are happening, yes. But do we have a reason for these crimes? Do we have a reason for the government executing people? Do we have that reason? Do you know that reason? Is it acceptable? Is it normal? Is it right? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. Tune in on the next episode of the truth you didn't know about Congo execution, and we shall be able to move together. Thank you so much for being here. Africa is home. Africa ni nyumbani. And anything that happens in Africa, like what has just happened in Congo, anything that concerns Africa concerns me and you as black people, black brother and sister, black kids, black children. Anything that concerns Africa concerns us as black people. All right, guys. Adios.